see better. I'm not sure.
I could sit back here. Tell you, the biggest problem in this editing room is getting the couch the right way so I can see the image on the machine. That's the biggest problem, because we decided on a couch because we knew that there was going to be a siege in here doing Last Temptation of Christ. We're going to be here for months, days and nights. This way I can lay down and maybe sleep a little bit. That's why we decided on a couch rather than a chair. The biggest problem has been getting the couch in the right configuration so that we can see the image on the chem. Yeah.
So I'm going to find Clapton's solo then, right? And
yeah,
pull it up?
yeah. But maybe the solo is still maybe too hot. I mean, it's too hot a solo. Maybe it's too
So is there anything we want to do back up here?
No, I think if you want to add a little more onto him, at that point, go ahead. But I think we should rearrange now the shots so that the fantasy isn't quite right yet.
Okay. Now, she's not actually...
You see, we could actually do that. We could actually fade out one section of the music and fade in another section, because it's a total,
sure.
You could totally surreal. We can do
anything. And they
more.
already recognize it as
they know it. They know
a
it.
theme.
Music.
I think it's all right with us to head off that.
I don't know. This music is wrong.
Yeah. And I haven't trimmed the head of that yet.
It's okay
it's
here.
It's hard to see the tail of this.
So it's hard to see the blue, yeah. Now I really think it should be whiter shade of pale that comes in. Her face at first just ghostly.
Yeah.
Turns a whiter shade of pale. And the ghost pale that Nestor put on there, that blue moon-like effect, you know.
All right, let me try this.
Because otherwise it's a little too temptress. She's got her hair up that way, and you hear that. This music is too sexy. The music's too sexy. It's too erotic. It doesn't need eroticism at this point. I know it's what you keep trying to put in the picture, but it doesn't need it. Okay? One thing in your mind all the time. One thing. Eroticism. The problem with this thing was it took $5 million for 4 weeks shooting, and it was a good luxurious kind of shoot. And I had planned all the shots anyway. But the problem that I think the most anxiety-ridden, well, the situation is so anxiety-ridden making films here now, because if a picture like King of Comedy at $19 million is really a very good film, I mean, some would argue that, then do I really need $19 million every time to make a picture? In other words, do I need that time? Because $19 million went for time. 19, 20 weeks of shooting. We took very often on that picture. I would start in the morning, and I'd start shooting around 3 in the afternoon. Whereas now I go in, we're shooting at 7:30, and it's just but it's a different thing physically too. I don't like shooting a picture. I prefer the editing room. I'm more control here. There's less people, and less can go wrong. But I think in terms of that, but the shooting of King of Comedy was a very, very difficult situation. I think I prefer, if we get on a set, that the act of actually shooting and looking through the lens and working with the actors is so painful a situation that you better just start at 7:30 and get going. On Last Temptation, that was that way, and on After Hours, and even Color of Money was that way.
Why is it painful?
It's painful. It's like waking up. It's like waking up. You don't want to wake up. You want to stay in bed. It's painful. It's like hey, you know, for that hour in the morning, and then you look through the lens, and you look at the video assist, and you see it's not exactly the angle you wanted, then how do you get it? And maybe an actor's not feeling well that morning, and then you hear the lines read, and you say, my God, that's not exactly what I meant with those lines. And then, I mean, it's a mess. It's constantly a mess. It's constantly in this temperaments and different people. So I like to, that's why I like to work with people who are not too temperamental, have a lot of fun with them. You know, I like to enjoy the cameraman, for example. I like very much Michael Ballhaus and Nestor Almendras. Nestor shot this. And they are pleasant to be with. I mean, even Ballhaus, even if he can't get you something, he's still smiling. He'll say, no, that can't be done. It's better than a guy tearing his hair out and slamming and becoming, you know, the grand superstar on the set. It's just insane. It's just crazy where you are just locked into a personality where you're locked into somebody else's personality. I can't handle it. I just need to have somebody who is open to all possibilities. That's the idea. And moves fast, too. Moves fast. You know, Ballhaus moves fast. Nestor moves very fast. But I tell you, on the commercial we did this little commercial for Giorgio Armani in Milan 2 weeks ago. And Michael was with me on it. 30 seconds. And we had 3 days to shoot. And it was great because we took our time and And I was actually able to think of more interesting angles and shots. And
Yeah.
I mean, I would like that luxury. I would like that luxury. You know.
Like.
Yeah, but again, then that only stretches out the shooting period, and I hate the shooting period. I just hate it.
But you remember what they told us about you in Last Temptation, that
What?
you were moving so fast and making so many compromises every second of the day that you would say, I need half an hour to talk to the
Oh,
actors.
yeah, yeah.
And then as the time went on, that got to be 5 quality minutes with the
Yeah,
actors. What did 5 quality minutes mean?
5 quality minutes with the actors. I would ask my AD, Joe Reedy, who was excellent. I'd ask him, give me 5 quality, well, no, actually 6. 6 quality minutes to talk to the actors. Quality minutes meant no banging, no people hammering, no people yelling in French and Arabic and Italian and German, and quiet on the set, and basically just myself and Joe, the actors, and the cameraman, and working out a little bit of time. Just maybe 6 minutes is all we needed. That's all. In the beginning of the shoot, I needed like 20 minutes, and then I got it down to 6.
You had to get it.
Yeah, we had, because we had no time. We had no time with the lights. The light kept going, and Morocco was very interesting. The light is beautiful in Morocco, but we were shooting in the winter a year ago this time, and it would leave at 4 o'clock. The light would just go, and so we'd be there at the crack of dawn at 7 o'clock or 6:30, which is. I love shooting there. The problem was I wish I would have had just a little more time,
Luxury.
a little more luxury.
Just the way you like it, Frank. Double scoop ice cream, double wet, and double rich.
You could have gone all day long without saying that last. I didn't think going to.
Okay. These books right here are part of the Scorsese archive. There are about 50 volumes like this that kind of represent all of Mari's production history. We keep papers, Mari keeps papers on every single film, and when the film is over, we kind of put them all together, Xeroxed, one size, in so many different volumes. For Raging Bull, for instance, there are about 15 volumes. Now, what these books have is everything from Mari's early notes to different drafts of the script revisions, storyboards, reviews, awards, everything until the film is actually done. Now, for instance, just show you, these are some of Mari's storyboards for Raging Bull. As you can see, this is how he was working on this film. This is reduced. In fact, he did this a little bit larger than they were. I mean, originally it was something like this. This size, right here. And this, in fact, is the last Robinson fight, the so-called massacre scene where Jack LaMotta gets killed, pretty much, by Robinson. Now, these scripts here, for instance, this is Last Temptation of Christ. It's like 2 boxes of script. Let me just make some room here so I can show you how this works. These are just different versions of the script, as you can see. From 1982, Paul Schrader's first draft of the script, to Mari's shooting script. Now, this is just part of Mari's shooting script. It's about half of it. As you can see, there's all Mari's notes, the way he works on every sequence, shot by shot, he designs them. He has technical annotations next to it, by camera movement, and dollies, etc., etc. Now, at the end of the film, and by end of the film, I mean once the film is not being screened anymore and no more is being said about it, all these papers get organized and they become those books that you see right there. Last Temptation, I think, is going to be like 15 volumes probably, like Raging Bull. Now, Mari keeps every single paper. I mean, there are periods of his life where he's like almost obsessive about it. For instance, these are just some notes from 1981, 1982. Okay, as you can see here, this is some notes written on a napkin. Of course, Mari puts a date on it, which means that it's something to keep. Here, it's just some notes about some films. Diary of a Country Priest, St. Francis of Assisi, Odette, Europa 51. Annotations that might have some specific significance for Mari at that time of his life, that night. Some of them, nobody knows what they mean except himself. So we try to identify them as much as possible.